Hello? Got that working. Alrighty, cool. I just post a link on my Twitter as well. You guys can see both of the windows, right? I got it hooked up so I can share my trading view and my Discord at the same time now. Should help out a little bit. All right, cool. It's not too small, right? Because it looks kind of small on my OBS, but I think it should be bigger for you guys. Do I trade on the computer during the day? Uh, Sometimes I'm like 50-50. Like I sometimes trade on mobile. Like the reason I have my key seeker posting to a Discord channel is because if I really needed to and if I had to like leave my desk, I would still have all of the tools I need in order to make good trading decisions. Like that's the cool thing about trading. Like I don't want to be in front of a desk from 9 to 5, so just trying to make everything as flexible as possible. Is it in 720p? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can change that. 720p, what the hell? Hold on. Man, Dylan, you sure you don't have like a 15-year-old monitor? Let's see. Settings, video. Yeah, it shows 1920 by 1080. It could be because I'm just on an ultra wide monitor. I trade on a 49-inch monitor. It's 720. All right, let me see. Is that better? Did that get a little bit better? Still shitty? That looks fucking weird. All right, is that better? Yeah, I think it's my monitor. I have a my monitor is like 49 inches. It's like massive sideways. Did it look better yesterday when I was on the X live stream? Frame Martin, I gotta clip these. All right, maybe I'll just stop the stream right now. That's a good point. Okay, do window capture instead of screen capture. Well, Frame Martin says it looks good. So does it look good or does it not look good? I don't know if the problem's on my side or if the problem's on your guys' side. Yeah, my output resolution is set to 16 by 9. Yeah, it's 3440, 1440. That's correct. Oh, it's actually 5120, 1440. Yeah, the method is on application capture too. Why the fuck did you change your picture to an Gill Trades? How big is what? You got a bottle of tequila and bad decisions waiting? All right. All right, all right. Well, I told everybody I'd give them 12 more minutes, so I'll kick it off at 9:30 sharp, and then we'll keep it short, 30 minutes, because I got stuff to do as well. Julio, I don't know. Whatever you guys want me to go over. Got to set scaling to 150%. All right, let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I have not used OBS that much before, but the problem I had yesterday with StreamYard was that it was difficult to share multiple windows side by side. So If the preference is that I just share one window at a time, like I could go back to StreamYard, that's not a problem. But even for me, like it was annoying having to like share one application window and then flip it off, turn another one on. So I thought it would be, I mean, I think this is better just being able to share them side by side. Yeah, you want to see how I snatched the snipes, what I was saying? Yeah, that's exactly what I'll go over. Like we'll keep it simple and just go over the important stuff today because I think I covered all the basics in the past two live streams, but if people didn't listen and have any questions, just throw those in the chat as well. Just give. Maybe I could do this and then change it. Right, is that better for everybody? Like, I think what's happening is YouTube's trying, or OBS is just piping everything to YouTube as 1080p, but I'm on a 1440p, so it's pretty much scaling everything down. So I just zoomed in on the application windows instead, so you should be able to see it a little bit better. Yep. Does it look better now? Julia, you could probably tell me since you have Nvidia earnings lotto. My thoughts on Nvidia earnings lotto. When is their earnings? It's coming up on Wednesday of next week. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is gonna bump out to new highs. It's printing a weekly inside bar, and for Nvidia, as long as it stays above here, this level, I think that's bullish. And if it has a good earnings report, I think it can go to new highs. But obviously, depends on the market as well. Yeah, we don't need earnings lottos. Like one suggestion I always have is if you're gonna take an earnings lotto, like I would much rather you put that money into an SPX 0-day expiration in the last 30 minutes of the market. Your chance of actually hitting like a big 500% or 1000% trade is a lot higher. Um, and it's like less of a gamble because we're good at trading SPX. So I actually haven't really traded earnings for a long time. Rather just drop like 10,000 bucks into like the last 10 minutes of SPX and see if it hits 1,000%. All right, so yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off now for the official session. If anybody wants to ask a question that I'm not currently going over, just put it in the chat. I have it streaming live, so I can go ahead and see what questions are being asked. Ideally, put it in the YouTube chat, like don't put it in the Discord chat or x.com. That way I can just see everything in one spot. But today we had a couple of good trades. Like we started off the day with a pretty massive swing trade on SPX puts. Like I know a couple of people bought that one. A lot of people said they didn't really, see or hear that you should have swung puts. But if you look in the chat, like yesterday, a lot of people were asking, and I told them like, hey, if you're gonna take puts, then make sure you take them for next week. So, I mean, that was kind of the signal that I had because felt like we're gonna see a dump based off the heat map. So after selling those, like it was a pretty choppy day. Generally speaking, like SPX, if it gaps down. Like if it gaps down like, 1% or more, generally speaking, it's very hard to trade it in the beginning of the day. The reason it's hard to trade in the beginning of the day is because what results, like when this shit gaps down, what ends up happening is the VIX will gap up. So you can see right at the market open, it pumped pretty hard. Yeah, this is the Friday candle. Like it pumped massively. So when the VIX pumps, what happens is that premiums go up on all of your options. Yes, that was because of the VIX on the 28th. Like we're looking at that one, and the brightest node was pointing down. So I knew people were positioned for a downside pull. And in this scenario, it seems like an insider potentially knew that Trump was going to tweet about, EU tariffs in a bearish way. So a lot of people say like, we got lucky because of news, but in reality, like what we do is we track insider trades. Like that's what, Heat Seeker is effectively meant to do, and the plan worked. So yeah, anybody that says we got lucky because of news can suck it. All right. So yeah, VIX goes up. Generally, what happens when the VIX goes up is that implied volatility on your option contracts goes up. If implied volatility on your options contract goes up, it needs a bigger move in order for it to actually profit. So if the we gap down here, and like I actually know that even if you bought calls on this gap down, you didn't make money because I bought calls on this gap down as well. Like I sold my puts and then I flipped over to calls because I got the buyout go right here. And even though it grinded up all of these levels, the contracts were only up like 20 or 30%. Hey Jesus, hey, welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for joining. Okay, so that is number one lesson. Like on very, very big gap up days, like even if you think we're gonna bounce hard, be very mindful of the VIX, be very mindful of implied volatility on your option contracts, because even if it never breaches the lows and it still continues to go up, your call options could actually stay red. So yeah, I think I just ended up getting out for like 20 or 30% because in the morning, if you looked at the heat seeker that I posted, it was showing that 5,800 was the peak. So what do? I draw a line here at 5,800. And as you can see, like it rejected a couple of times here. It rejected a couple of times and like, I just sold it. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll get out of those calls. Okay. After that, like we kept on chopping. I told everybody it wasn't a good day to trade. And then what happened is we saw the ceiling. I mentioned in the chat that the call wall went up to 58.25. So the interesting part here that everybody needs to keep track of is 58.25 is not only the upper call wall. What you're also going to see is that it becomes a pretty major like support from yesterday. Like if you look here, this is 58.25.80. So right off rip, like when I look at that pivot or that call wall, like I really like my chances at it because number one, price action is the most important. Number two, we use heat seeker levels. Number three, we use the glitch algo. Okay. So price action lined up perfectly. The heat seeker mentioned 58.25 was the potential high for the day. But what I liked even more about that is that 5,800 was actually the major magnet for the day. And I will show you pretty much where we're at here. I'm just gonna scroll up the channel. Yep. So if you look here on this heat map right here, 58.25 is like the upside magnet in the floor, which I mentioned could become a ceiling and reject. And even though price was at 58.25, the biggest downside target was at 5,800. So you have potential for a 25-point drop. So whenever it's tapping on the 58.25 level here, like I was literally taking puts every single time we bumped up here. Like I think my first alert was like right here, and I just told everybody to hold it. But even like, I think it printed like 30%. Then we got this dump. Even after I retested, like I entered again, ate all of that. Then it retested again, and then I ate that again. Like I shorted it like on every single one of these little peaks. And the reason I was able to do that is because if you looked at Heatseeker throughout the day, like every time you look at it, you'll notice that 58.25 is the high, where there's a ceiling, and then the 5800 was actually the largest magnet, which is downside. So I kept on favoring the risk to reward to the downside. I know some people kept on calling out that we were building, we're building a little bit of pressure here up at 58.45, and that might have been a little bit scary. But the way you can actually look at this is that 58.45 only has like 11 to 12 mil. 5800 has 22 mil. So the chances of us actually gravitating towards 5800 is twice as high as the chances of us gravitating towards 5845. Like it's really just statistics and probability. Like I know as this is accumulating, like it could be a little bit scary. For me, it would only be scary if this 5800 started to dim down. But anybody that's actually in the heat seeker chat, like we kept on talking about it, like this 5800 number, if anything, it kept on growing. So that just gave me the confidence to continue to short. Also, very important part, like I told you guys, I when I trade SPX, like I actually chart ES. And if you looked in my channel on Discord on in Only Bangers, like the free one, I marked this level as a key pivot where I said I don't think bulls are going to be able to clear this. Why do I think they're not going to be able to clear it? It used to be a very, very major like support pivot, as you can see here. Boom, boom. Then they broke it down, they retested it, so it became resistance. So I knew even if the price went back up, it's not going to be able to clear that. Okay. And you can actually see, like, if you time like my entry against like where my algo actually told me to short it, like I got this little white dot right here, and that was actually my entry. Like I front ran it a little bit. This is the scenario where I kind of messed up and I trusted the number three priority like execution step rather than price action. Like if I was trusting price action, like no matter what, like I should have entered here. I just got a little bit impatient and yeah, I had to deal with the sick kid all day. So I just told you guys to buy and then I told you to just hold it and wait. And it literally never cracked above this level. Like if you got in here, you actually got in cheaper than me, probably at like 50 cents or 55 cents. And if you got in there, then you probably took like a 400% or 500% trade off of this single drop right here, even this small tiny drop. Okay. Yes, this is the three minute time frame, Julio. Like 3 minute is my bread and butter, man. Like I generally don't wait for 5 minute candles because I don't like to stay in trades too long in the last 30 minutes to like an hour. The reason why I don't like it is because if you're waiting for like 5 minute candles to close, like that's a lot of time for the candle to essentially like wick out and then go back up and you losing a lot of profits. So yeah, generally I just like to trade the 3 minute. Yeah, 3 minute, 5 minute, like 15 minute. Those are my favorite for day trading. I know you said it yesterday, but I forgot. What do the numbers mean? Are they like volume or something? Like you don't really need to care about the numbers. It's pretty much like notional dealer positioning in terms of like their exposure. So, I mean, you don't really have to understand it too much. It's just ignore the plus, ignore the minus. The most important part is how big the numbers are. Okay. ES correlates better than NQ to SPX 100%. ES futures is essentially the futures version of SPX, so they move the same. Do I prefer Webull over Robinhood? No, I use a little bit of both. I'm using Webull right now because I kicked off the $1,000 challenge and I had to have a fresh account, so that's why I'm using Webull for the new one right now. But I still trade on Robinhood here and there too. All right, so now you all know why I entered here. Like, earlier when I said I was taking the cheap lottos, like this is what I was like I pretty much front ran this rejection because the heat map lined up perfectly. Okay. If you look, I mentioned that we're gonna see 5,800 today. Like I was very, very confident that this is gonna drop to 5,800 and perfect. We dropped here to 5,800. Not only that, like, this is like price action support, price action support, price action support. You have no business trying to hold it for longer, expecting it to break down further from there. If anything, like a lot of people caught calls here on this dip, and then right off of 5,800, we bounced 10 points and that was a massive trade. Like I think it hit like 1,000%. And then I'll actually show you what else he could have done. 58.10 was the upside resistance. If you play the rejection here down in the last like 2 to 3 minutes, that was another 1,000% trade. And that was all called out on the heat map as well, and I'll show you where. Okay. So let me pull it up. Actually, let me just look at timestamps. So let's see. It was at 12:55. Why is it on UTC all of a sudden? So this is our 1555, 355. Yeah, so at a certain point, like the 5800, like it's established as the most important point, right? And then 5810 is like the largest purple node above that. So when you're seeing a setup like this, and if you see this bounce beginning, like what you'll know is no matter what, like the price is going to close at 5800. So as it approaches the next upside, like purple node, which is the negative 22 mil, what do? You have your finger on the trigger so that as it approaches 5810, as long as that purple node has not moved up, you short that. You short that, okay? So let's go ahead and see how it plays out in real time. So this is when it tapped 5810 right here. As you can see, 5810, there's nothing above here that matters. Like nothing above here. And if anything, the 5800 grew to 207 million in terms of dealer exposure. And this is when price is at 5809, okay? Now look at the chart. Like you can you can literally short this massive blue candle. Like my blue candles are green candles, my white candles are red candles, okay? Like you could front run and you could short this, understanding and knowing that price is not going to be able to break above 5810, and then you play that bitch all the way back down to 5800. And we came like 1 point away from that. All right. Tesla Heatseeker, I mentioned the range was 330 and 340, and then it pretty much pinned and closed at 340 today, I think. Yeah, it's a pretty close one. Do I enter my trades with market or limit orders? Scotty the knows. I generally enter my trades with limit orders. I usually never enter with market orders. Like just to give you all a little bit of context, like I think the problem that a lot of people face is that you're scared. You're probably scared because you are not familiar enough with the tool that you're utilizing or that I'm utilizing. And you haven't built enough like muscle memory and instincts to actually know what is going to happen. Like I have pretty much like 85% to 90% confidence that heat seeker targets actually play out. So towards the end of the day, like I'm pretty much playing this range all day. Like anytime it rejects here, like I'm actually getting in before the rejection. So even here when it breaks above, like I'm getting in because I know it's a fake out and liquidity hunt because I have the glitch sell signal right here. Even right here, like I'm shorting that. Even right here, I'm shorting that. So the reason I am able to do that because I have 100% confidence that we're going to end the day at 5800. And pretty much what happens is as we're breaking above this range right here, guess what everybody is doing? They are stopping out of their calls. A really, really cheap way to buy call options from people that are selling them because they're stopping out of them is to set limit orders. So generally, like as I am seeing price approach this level, if I'm expecting a reversal, what I will do is I will set a limit order, and I will set the limit order at less than what the current market price is. And that way, when the fake out occurs, I get a really, really good fill, and mind you, like when this shit's breaking out, it looks fucking bullish and it looks scary. Like even these two candles, look how bullish that looks, right? But then what happens afterwards? Like it literally straight dumps. Look how bullish this looks. Like looks pretty bullish, right? But it dumps. Like hindsight is 2020, which is why actually executing and practicing your trades is important. But that is what everybody has to get better at. Like you have to get better at your entries. And I'm generally a reversal trader. Like this is just what I do, and the reason I do it is because the risk to reward is really good. Like if you're actually sniping these reversals with full confidence that we end the day at 5800, um, so as soon as you enter with a limit order, a lot of times your trade will already be up in profit like 20 to 30%. So you've got a lot of cushion. Like even if you were wrong and the price goes up a little bit more, like you're only going to be down like 5 to 10%, like 20%, 25%, okay? So, but the problem is when price is coming down and then you chase that rejection, Like you're chasing price, so you're gonna have to get filled at like market or something. And then any kind of bounce that happens, like you're instantly gonna be down like 30 to 50%, which just burns your contracts and it's just really hard to come down from, okay? There's a massive benefit to predicting the move. Like I know every other person out there is going to tell you like react to the moves and like they say like follow the trend. Like on a day like today, like imagine you followed the trend. Like you literally got fucked every single time you try to follow the trend. Okay? So I always encourage you to be careful who you listen to, be careful who you get advice from. Like I'm a very contrarian trader, and I'd say like I disagree with the majority of what people online say because people online are literally trained to say what they were taught, and like they're trained to say what they read in the books. The reality is like if you're using a strategy that everybody else is using, it's going to be very tough to be profitable. Like I love what I teach, and I know what I teach works because it's a very contrarian way of trading, but I've essentially built a toolkit that fully supports it, that gives me like three levels of confluence to actually like take these scary trades. All right, so yeah, that was it. Like that's pretty much it. It's a no-brainer. I mean, ES, like just based off this alone, even if you didn't have the algo, even if you didn't have heat seeker, like this is such an obvious level to short, and if you caught that, like you pretty much made money. Yeah, you weren't confident to stay in the trades earlier. Yeah, I think the like you're gonna need a lot more screen time with Heatseeker. Like I've developed it and like I know the code behind it. Like I know like all of the data I crunched to essentially come up with the data models I've come up with. So naturally like I'm gonna be a lot more confident in it than anybody else is gonna be. But that's why I do all these recaps. And that's why like I leave all of the heat maps in the Discord, so like you can always go back and backtest like I do. Like you can just keep on scrolling up, find the heat map at any given point, and then you could practice. Like that's what I always encourage. Like you have to practice, you have to like backtest, you have to study it, and that's how you build confidence. Like the market leaves like they leave no room for prisoners. Like you can't be scared to take a trade. Like if you're scared, then you're gonna keep on losing money. Like it's as simple as that. Yeah, no problem, Julie. I'll talk to you later, dude. Do I enjoy swinging or just zero data expiration? I like swinging when I'm like very, very confident. Like swinging is great because if you hit a big like gap down or a gap up like today, you're pretty much done for the day, like right off rip. Or you end up really green in the morning, so you could trade even more aggressively with the profits that you had, which is what I did. Generally for newer traders, like if you hit a swing trade and then you're green like right from the morning. I generally encourage them to log off because it's very easy to get overconfident and give up profits. And giving up profits is never a good feeling. But yeah, for me, I actually roll my profits and I double down, and that's just like I mean I do it because I can. Like I don't do it because I encourage it. Yeah, just go through the old heat maps. Like even today, like in my channel, I literally posted all of my executions. Like if you look here, this is the video of my Weeble that I took all of the trades on today. Like, look at the timestamps and line them up with the chart, and like you'll see how some of the trades I take are literally crazy. Like, if you play this shit on replay, like you would look at it and you'll be like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to take a trade like that. But even on this pump right here, like this last pump where you got like these fucking massive, like five blue candles, like I even shorted this one right here. I was like, fuck it, like I know it's gonna go back down to 5,800, and I shorted that. See you later, Quan. Do I start trimming at certain levels or knowing it's going down to 50, 100? Do you hold till a certain level? That's a good question. I generally don't encourage people to hold till the final level unless you're trading it as a spread or you're trading like, in the money or at the money contracts. We're oftentimes trading out the money contracts, and what that means is I'm trading 5800p and I'm trading 5780p. Like I know damn sure that those are not going to go in the money. So what I do is I take off half at 100%, which means that even if the remainder goes to zero, I'm still break even on the trade. If it hits 200%, like I'll take off more, and I mainly just keep on trimming like, into the down candles. So one thing that I do, like this is actually a big tip, like I generally, I don't really share too many tips, but like Wait, if you're in puts, like let's say you entered puts right here, okay? And you get these candles right here. Like I'm not waiting for the reversal to happen to sell. Like I'm actually selling into this candle right here. Like you see this big ass dump candle right here. Like as soon as I see that happening, like I'm looking to already set a limit sell. And if I set a limit sell at above what the market price is, you get a really, really good fill because people are chasing puts into these bearish candles. So those are the people you want to sell into. Okay. And by the way, like just because I use limit orders doesn't mean that everybody should. When people start practicing limit orders, like, dude, you're gonna get fucking destroyed. And you're gonna get destroyed because you're gonna miss entries. You're gonna have to re-input the price to catch it. You're gonna try to put a limit sell, and then that shit's gonna bounce, and then you've got to chase price afterwards. Just be very, very careful. Like it takes a lot of time to get the timing down. But in my opinion, it is worth the time investment because the slippage alone you can make a ton of money from. Yeah, if you're in puts, sell into weakness. If you're in calls, sell into strength. That is the rule. Like it's very contrarian. Like a lot of people hold their puts until they see a reversal or a bounce. But by the time you see a reversal and a bounce, like your contract went from freaking 250% to like 80%. Like it happens quick. Yeah, you like to use the price letter. Yeah, I like to use that too. It's helpful. All right. Any other questions from how we traded today, or was that pretty clear? Like today was a pretty easy and straightforward day. Like I told everybody in the morning, like it's going to be pretty choppy, which it was. Like this entire, like this is chop. Like you don't want to trade that. Like this is like if you caught that, that's okay. But afterwards, they're rejected. Like this move, if you caught it, sure, that's good. I was interested in catching this move. But you would have been able to catch this move earlier too, because right around this level, I actually mentioned that the floor moved up from 5,800 to 5,825. No, I'm on the wrong chart. But yeah, like right around here, like I mentioned that the call wall moved up 25 points, so you would have been able to ride that up and catch it too. Yeah, Brian Young, like that's a pretty good strategy. Like directly set a sell order after you buy to $2. That way you get picked up. You're out half at 100% already. I mentioned spreads the other day. If we play a range like today, could you briefly explain how that works? Um, so I don't mention spreads if we're playing a range like today. I mention spreads if I believe the price target will take time to hit. So what I mean is if price is at 5,800 and we're heading towards 5,825, but we still have 4 or 5 hours in the day, it's very difficult to trade an out the money call because you don't know when the big move is going to happen. Like it could literally chop for 3 hours and then spike, or it could spike and then chop, or it could just, gradually go up, right? So in that scenario, like it's a battle against time, which is theta. And a spread you could trade, for example, if you think we're going to hit 58.25, is you could trade like, you could buy like a 58.20 and then you could sell a 58.25 against it. That way, the 58.25 that you sold is collecting premium if price is moving very slow, and the 58.20 that you bought is going up in value. So it's more of a directional, like a neutral directional play where, you're expecting things to move kind of slow. Yeah, a trader that calculates what limit price to enter by using gamma and delta to anticipate the premium. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I don't think it's necessary. Like it's a little bit overkill. I try to keep trading as simple as possible, and I generally don't want to have to do all of that calculation. Like at a certain point, like when you see these candles moving on the price chart, like you get a general idea of how the contract prices will also move. Like you got to build a relationship with all of the tickers that you trade. Yep. See you later, T. All right. Any other questions, or am I free for the night? Yeah, like moral of the story today is I said 58.25 was the upside wall, but then I mentioned that 5800 is going to hit today. We're, if we're near 58.25, like even if we break above it, like don't be scared. Like these are all liquidity hunts. Like they're taking out liquidity, they're taking out liquidity, they're taking out liquidity. When they take out liquidity, the move in the opposite direction can be a lot more aggressive. So don't be scared of those. Like you should welcome those because that means you're getting your puts at a discount. Okay. Like try it. Like just try it. Let me know how it goes. Like if you need help, you're more than welcome to ask questions in the channel as well. But just remember, like if you're trading, you always have to come up with your own style. So, don't take my advice as like the religion or the Bible. Like this is just how I trade. I'm always just gonna be here to share a contrarian perspective because I don't like trading like the herd. Like if you trade like the herd, you're gonna get stampeded on, right? It's like, you want to find your own path, like you want to figure out your own style and your own strategy that works for you. Yeah, no problem, man. I love seeing people make money. Like it's just amazing when, we can run a free server, I can post free alerts, and then you get stats like this, which is, 57 people green, 14 people red. Like this ratio is better than any other paid server out there. Like that's just awesome. And then looking through the games channel, this is cool, man. Like just seeing people make money, that's what I'm here for. All right. I'll go ahead and close things off in a minute if I don't get any other questions then. Running through the Venom map today. Let's see where we closed. Yep, closed between 5805 and 5800 on the dot. Things are looking pretty interesting going into April or going into May 30th. Like I'm kind of seeing like a stair step up over here, with a little bit of like downside visibility here. So, if I were a betting man, like I would think there's going to be some upside pressure going into May 30th, but this can all change like really, really fast. Like I'll have to see how the market opens. Like NQ, like I knew for sure was going to dump eventually because like we got a sell signal right here. So like I was not scared to swing puts. Like this sell signal dumped, buy signal pumped, sell signal dumped. Like this algo I built for Nasdaq has literally been spot on. But now what we're seeing is after this dump, I'm seeing a potential buy on like the 4 hour chart, which is also pretty accurate. Like this one got bought, this one is saying it's going to get bought. So. We'll have to see what happens. Like I ideally would have liked it to retest this level to take potential longs off of, but we'll see. Like I think ES might have gotten caught up on something first. Yeah, ES is probably catching a bounce like right off this level right here. That's why. But yeah, I think on the bear thesis side, like you've got a gap to fill there still, and then you've got a gap to fill here still. So yeah, I'd like for us to eventually test this 53.39 again, so we can take some longs off of there. Yeah, thoughts on Monday. Monday is Memorial Day, so nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, upcoming week. Yeah, just I'm just gonna watch the heat map when it opens up on Tuesday. Like I didn't swing much, so I'm pretty heavy cash over the weekend. Like I had a pretty good week, so I'll keep it that way. And then I'll see how things are repositioning on Tuesday. Like I think there might be some news over the weekend, especially with Trump being loud again about tariffs. So it all depends on like news developments. You thought the dump would come faster? Yeah, like I mean, like I think we had a pretty decent dump so far. I mean, we went from like 6,000 down to like we dropped like 250 points in 4 days. Like I think that's pretty solid of a dump. And generally speaking, like things don't come straight down. Like we can easily see, something like this, or we could see something like, this. Like there's so many different ways this could play out. But I'll let the heat seeker tell me what's going to happen next week. Generally, over long weekends, like you just get a lot of hedges in both directions, so it's pretty difficult to predict. Alrighty, I'm gonna go head out then. It's a long weekend. I hope you all have a long weekend as well. And if you have any questions, like feel free to send me a DM or, ask me in X DMs or whatever. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be greatly appreciated and thankful. And I'll start running my streams on here more often. Like I think I'm gonna fix my OBS settings so I can easily show both screens without it having bad resolution. And then once I get that down, it should just be a lot easier for me to share both windows at the same time and walk you all through everything going on. All right. Thanks everybody. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe out there.